This is Danny with QuadLugs, and we're going to be doing the electronics install on the big body quad, the 610 millimeter. So the only thing I did since last time is make a new body. We have a video out on how to, put the body together. And also I'll link that at the bottom, and also installing the body on a 380, which it installs the same on all of them. So I'll have both of those links at the bottom. Real easy, no big deal. And we'll go over that at the very end here. So the other thing I did is I put, two pieces of Velcro like I had mentioned before I was going to do. And what I do is on the battery I'll put the opposite. I always put, and this is my personal preference, I put the loop on the multi-rotor, and then I put the hook on everything that I'm going to attach to it. So the battery, I have the hook on it, and when you put the battery down and put the strap on, super secure. I'm going to go ahead and pull the pan off here, and we'll get started installing the ESC. We're going to be using the Q-Brain 25 amp, and if you've been watching the videos, that's pretty much exclusively what I use. The 4-in-1 ESCs, just very easy to do, and it really makes installing the electronics uneventful, very easy. This was used on another one, and like I was mentioning before, I move them from machine to machine quite often. So anyway, it already has some Velcro on there, and actually I'm going to pull this off because this is quite the opposite of what I just mentioned. It's got the loop on here, and normally I'll put the hook, so I'm gonna go ahead and prep it, and it'll be ready for next time. So I'll go ahead and get the hook and put it on here, and I'm using Velcro I get from, I think, Lowe's. It's 2-inch wide. It's pretty reasonable, and I'll tell you what, it's really good. It works really well. The adhesive is good, and the actual Velcro itself, which, if I'm not mistaken, it is the Velcro brand. You'll see how that sticks. And once it's installed, it works really well. Key word, I guess, with me today is once it gets installed. Anyway, here you go. And it's 2-inch wide, and it works really good. On the battery mount, that actually is 2 inches wide here to fit in between. So it works out really good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on now to the multi-rotor. And sometimes I have to fight with this stuff to get this backing off. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. And I cut these pieces, about, they're naturally 2 inches wide, and I think I cut them 2 inches long. So I made it pretty easy. Now this is going to be the front, and I'm going to face my battery connector out the back. And I'm going to put it, in about middle here and this way also. You can put it offset, really doesn't matter. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's doing real good. There we go. Now I had already put my battery connector on because it was, used on this same one actually before. And when I put the battery connector on, I put me a connector to go to power up my Naza that I have on, that I'm going to be putting back on here. And then of course the controls. No power is needed going to the Naza, so I disconnected it here and just left the ground on this one. So I'm going to drill a hole through here after a while and run them up through. It's I think it'll make a little bit better install. So if I'm not mistaken, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the Naza. And so if it's that way, then number 4 ESC is going to be going to 1. Number 4 is actually brown, so brown to 1. 3 is going to be going to 2. 3 ESC is going to be going to 2 rather. And 3 is white on the controls, and so forth. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this turned around. And I think, well, let's get our motors installed first. I did prep these. These are iPower motors, and these are 880 kV, and I think they're 2217s. And I'm running 1045 props, and it works real good with this one. The iPower motors come with really long leads, so I did have to prep this by you know, cutting the wires. And the reason I cut the wires is because I do that with all the motors. So if I want to change motors out on here, I just simply unplug it. Everything is to length already from the ESC, and it just makes it real easy to switch motors out, to try out different motors, or you know, whatever I'm in the mood of doing it at any particular time. So it just makes it real easy to do a change out. Maybe it doesn't look as good, you know, because there's a connection here, which there doesn't need to be. These wires are long enough to go all the way to the ESC, so you could actually cut the ESC wires and leave these all the way to go all the way with no connection. And I realize it would look a lot better doing that, but again, I do it this way for a reason, to be able to change out motors. So let's go ahead and we're going to get this put on. And I use tie beams. These are 4-inch, 18-pound. And I do that again because it's just so easy. And I tell you, they work really good. I haven't had any failures with them. They're easy to double check and make sure everything's good. You can screw these. You know, put screws with nuts on these if you want. I just find it works really good this way. Now, you know, a lot of people didn't like it, I guess, because it, you know, it's a tie beam or a zip tie. But I have no problem with it. It works really good for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and get these put on, and I won't bore you with that. It's, you know, all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and cut away, and I'll see in a little bit when they're done. So this is all I do. And real quick before I cut away here, I should have really started them all before I tighten them up. Be a little bit easier. But it'll work. And if you have a, you know, the puller, or, you know, the gun they use to pull this together, or to tighten up the zip ties, that's great. That, you know, that's a good tool to have. I pull them, you know, like this against each other, and again, it's worked really well for me. So let me get busy doing this, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, we're on the last motor here. And get these pulled tight. Get them cut. Okay. So we'll determine, again, this is going to be the front. This is going to be motor number 1. And let's go ahead and connect these up. You know, I'll check rotation once, you know, motor rotation, and correct that if it needs to be. Whenever I, you know, put the nozzle on the computer. So we'll be doing that later. This should be motor number 2. Again, if you've been watching the videos, you know I use these Velcro ties, and so I use these pretty much, especially on doing, you know, on the motor wires on the arms. I use this pretty much exclusively for that. We'll make this look, you know, a little bit better after a while. Just kind of getting things tidied up. These come on a big roll, and you know, you just pull them off, and I cut them to length, and then wow, I've been using them for a long time. So I'm not really worried about changing rotation. I'll just pop this off, change it, put it back on. And they hold really well too. Okay. So this is going to be our front, and I'm running this out the back. So okay, we have the I have the hole cut, and I ran the control wires through there. So we're going to go ahead and put our pan back on. And I'll show you what I did while I was locating and drilling that hole. Is that I decided to go ahead and run the wires like this and just put some zip ties here and hold it tight to the crosswood. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, it can be changed, but I think I'm gonna go with it that way, and I'm gonna not tighten these all the way, but we'll come back and finish that in a minute. So anyway, I kind of like that. So I think that's gonna look pretty good, and it wraps around nice here. So I think that's gonna be good. Again, that's the front. This is the Naza Lite I had on there. I just left it all kind of, I'm sorry, I left it all kind of put together, so we'll just reinstall it. Of course, we'll have to go back to the computer, you know, to finish setting it up, but I'll get everything located for you. The electronics, as far as the motors and the ESC, we're done. The prep that had to be done ahead of time was obviously on the ESC, was to put the battery plug of your choice. And then I decided to cut the wires on these motors and you know, put some new connectors on. And if we were running a KK board, you know, we'd go ahead and put it here. If you're using our holder and receiver lug, it'd already be put together. It'd just be a matter of, you know, Velcro into here, hook the motor wires, check rotation, let's go flying. So the electronics, super, super easy. I really and truly, using the Q-Brain, it's, or the 4-in-1, it's just extremely easy. And with QuadLugs, it makes it really fast. You have a central point to do it, and or to mount it, and you know, makes it goes together real well. And I'm, you know, putting these wires on here, and we're going to go ahead and put that in this area right here. You know, of course, you know, you could put it wherever you wanted, as long as it was adequate with the CG. But I'm going to tell you what I'm finding. It doesn't have to be perfect with the CG at all. And, you know, I've built quite a few of these and had a lot of experiences with them being in different places on purpose. And you can get by with a lot. It's amazing. Okay, and I've just put this on Velcro again, and you'll see in the flight video when we have it, it works very well. I haven't had any problems at all. Just use a good grade Velcro is all, you know, to where it holds well. So anyway, that's on. I had my receiver in this area right here, so I think I'll go ahead and put it back in that same area, and I'm going to put that down there. There we go. And I had my satellite on the leg here, and I think we're going to do the same thing. Let me just run this through here. And I think what I had done was I had put a piece of Velcro on the leg, and see if you can see it. I just put it, you know, let me get it lined up. Now we'll mount that back, and we'll secure it in a little bit here. You know, with make it look nice. The LED is going to fit on the body. I had a place there for that. The plug here to power it up, we're going to run it through here. And I had installed a plug to for it, and we'll tidy all this up in a minute here. And the GPS, you know, I had mounted on a pole right in this area. So, you know, I think I'm going to put it back maybe right here, and we'll see how that works out. So let me go ahead and get this done. Now you can put it on the body on the 540, the camera quad. I mounted the GPS on the body itself, and it worked out really good, and it's working really well. But we're going to put this here simply because that's how we had it before, and we'll see how it works. just going to use a 3/8 inch long screw. And we'll tidy all this up after a while. I just basically want to show you, you know, how I have the components set up on this one. And we'll make sure, you know, everything is pointing into the right direction. Let me grab another screw. And again, this is a 3/8 screw. And what I'll probably do is cut these tabs off here on either side, you know, kind of make that look a lot nicer. But we'll see. Either that or bend them, you know, down where it looks really nice or looks finished. There we go. That's nice and secure. So we're getting closer here. Now let me go ahead and, this is the canopy I had on here prior. And this is how I had it set up. And then I had, you know, made this and it's just hot glued on. And then I put some Velcro so this could be put on here like that, and you can remove the canopy that way. Now what I'll do is that, you know, I'm going to go ahead and trim these wires up and make all this look, you know, fairly decent. And, you know, I'll probably just fasten them on the inside and, you know, leave enough for that. So this is how it's turning out, and like I said, I'll trim up these wires. I won't bore you with that, but once it's all done, I mean, it's going to be, you know, it makes a pretty nice install. It'll look pretty good. So I'll show you the final tie-ins and you know, how everything's secured down. I'll show you all that whenever we do our maiden on it. So I'm going to get this wiring trimmed up, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the computer and get the Naza straightened out, you know, with the new locations, and do all of my rotation checks, and we're going to be ready to go. Again, this is Danny with QuadLugs, and this is the electronics install on the big body 610 quad.